So we're joined here today with AP's physical security or director of physical security, creator of Best Friend Friday videos on LinkedIn, and author of Do You Have a Best Friend at Work, Sam Queeno. Thank you for joining us.
I'm excited to be down here. Up here in Cleveland, actually.
Yeah, true.
Came up.
Yes, thank you for coming up. So can you tell us a little bit about what is Best Friend Friday?
Oh, man. What is it? Well, we're actually having Best Friend Friday on Monday, which I'm so excited about. Never done that before. So literally Best Friend Friday in the video that you showed, it was really an attempt to dispel the myth that we don't have a best friend at work. And to the root of it, it was really to shut my boss off at the time. Because as folks do know, AP for the last, I don't know, 18 plus years, no, not that long, 13, 14 years, we were going through the Gallup process in the survey. And question 10 on that survey is, do you have a best friend at work? And it's, rating scale. And everybody in the company got hung up on that question. So Best Friend Friday was started 7 years ago to basically dispel that myth, to feature people and ask them, what does it mean to have a best friend at work? Because they got hung up on that word, and he said it best, So as we started interviewing people on videos and showcasing it, I wanted to see what other people were saying about best friend, and maybe my boss would stop asking us how we're getting those scores up for that question.
Sure. Great. Thank you. And for the audience, we have a clip prepared here to show everyone a little taste of what Best Friend Friday is. Ryan, if you want to run the example.
Folks, I got a special Best Friend Friday. I'm down here in Cleveland in Reliability First. I'm with my man, best friend, Brian Theory. He's the director of entity engagement. Brian, welcome to Best Friend Friday.
Welcome to Cleveland.
Folks, Reliability First is partners with companies like ours to protect the grid, reliability for the grid, and security of the grid. And Brian and I connected through Best Friend Friday, and I just had to have him on. You're a huge supporter, and you are the nickname of Mr. Hero. We're going to get into that, but we're going to definitely talk about Mr. Hero. So, Brian, thank you for having me. Thank you for all that you do for keeping the lights on. Let's talk about Best Friend at Work. You being the in charge of engagement. Why is Best Friends important?
Sam, great question. Thank you. I'm the director of entity engagement here at Reliability First, and our mission is so challenging, right? We're all in this together. We're trying to keep the lights on, prevent blackouts. And at Reliability First, we talk about these risks to the grid. We talk about the 3 Ds: decarbonization, digitization, and decentralization. And all these challenges we face. And you know this: the cyber and physical security threats, the extreme weather, the inverter technology. And what am I getting at? We need our best friends.
Right.
If we're going to go through this mission and this challenge, we're in this together. So we need our best friends internally, externally. It's all about collaboration.
You are absolutely 100% right, and that's why we got to make sure that best friends at work, best friends at home, and we're forming those relationships so we can have that collaboration. So I know this Mr. Hero thing. It's a thing in Cleveland. Tell me why you're Mr. Hero.
All right, so we like to recognize success. We love to recognize people, individuals, positive observations. And here in Northeast Ohio, we have a very famous fast food chain, Mr. Hero, home of the Roman burger and the hot buttered cheesesteak. They're better together. Sam, quite simply, it's the taste you crave.
We're definitely going to hit this up after this video for sure.
Definitely. The wafer fries, everything. So what happens is when we recognize positive performance and incentivize people, I love to take them out to Mr. Hero. It's my favorite place to go. Definitely, if you're in Northeast Ohio, try it out. With over 117 locations, like I said,
it sounds like you own a Mr. Hero.
Love Mr. Hero. Love Mr. Hero.
We're going after this.
Yeah.
Well, I got something for you. It's the Best Friend Friday golf shirt. I want you to wear that proud, sir.
Of course.
Definitely get some swag. But it is Sammy Bear time. Where's that bear? Here he is. So I know you got a best friend at work. Who do you want to give a Sammy Bear to?
Sam, it's so hard. I have so many best friends at work, so many people I love working with. I'm going to give out this week's Sammy Bear to Mr. Matt Thomas. He is our Director of Compliance and Monitoring here at Reliability First. Matt and I, we were young new managers working for my best dad at work, Mr. Jim Earn. And Matt's showing me the ropes, helping me out. And more than that, he's always taking the time to check on me, making sure I'm okay, making sure everything is going all right. And he's got a lot of stuff going on, but he's always looking out for me. And I will never forget it. I will always appreciate his kindness.
That's what it's all about. Brother, we're going to get out of here. We're going to hit up Mr. Hero. I'm going to give you the parting words. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Sam. So at Reliability First, we talk a lot about culture. And I know culture is somewhat of a nebulous term. It's really hard to define. There's a culture of compliance. There's a culture of reliability, a culture of security, which you get involved in. And most importantly, a culture of excellence. And if there's anything I want to impart on everyone, is never underestimate what one person can do to change a culture. Look at Mr. Sam here. American Electric Power, enormous company, over 3 regions, 200 16,000 employees. And he's created a movement. And here we are, Best Friend Friday, season 6 going strong. So there's no challenge insurmountable when we all work together with our best friends. So Sam, thank you for all you do. Thank you for all the best friends. Best friends, we could get the job done together. Thank you, Sam.
Everybody, have a great Best Friend Friday. Let's get some Mr. Hero, bro.
Let's get some Mr. Hero.
It's lunchtime, baby. What are you getting?
Roman burger.
He's getting the Roman burger. I'm getting the cheesesteak. We're going to hit lunch. Everybody have a great Best Friend Friday.
That was a great video.
That's what I was late coming down. Yeah, I met up with my best friend, Brian.
Yeah.
We hit up Mr. Hero before we came to the office.
Yeah. Was it as good as Brian claims it to be?
It's good.
It's good.
It's good. And then because of Brian, I found out that we have 3 in Columbus.
Oh, there you go.
But I think they taste a little bit different in Cleveland. I think it's
Yeah.
the water.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
I only get them when I come to Cleveland.
Right? You have to come up here in front of Mr. Hero.
You have to have it with your best friend,
That's
obviously.
That's right. So can you tell me a little bit about how has Best Friend Friday been perceived at AEP? Are people excited about it?
I hope so. I'm been doing it for 7 years. Yeah. I think in the beginning everybody was like, what's going on? And season 1 and season 2, it was mainly just in security. We did it. We didn't kind of put it out. Season 3 just happened right around the pandemic. So a lot of folks were just getting introduced to the AEP on the so they thought it had to do with the pandemic, and it did help. That was one of the reasons. But the feedback that I got was, I get people that are looking forward to it on Friday. Being able to highlight our employees, outside partners, as you saw at Brian, people that are living that best friend mentality. It's not only about just changing or convincing people that we all have best friends at work. It's really highlighting, getting best friends, who their best friend is, why, and giving them a voice. That's where kind of Sammy Bear came around, and he's attached to you now.
Yeah.
He's excited. He doesn't want to go home. But literally, give away, a Sammy Bear to who your best friend is. And it's just part of that whole culture. And I think people really embraced it. And truly, we want to make Friday is the day we celebrate our best friends.
Can you tell me the importance of Sammy Bear?
Well, with any marketing, it originally started in season 4. And as you can tell, I'm using seasons like I'm on some hit show, but it's easier than go year 4.
Yeah.
So season 4, and it was to get our subscribers subscribed to our internal blog. Even though I was putting them on LinkedIn, but I wanted to get those numbers up because I wanted those videos to be passed easily in AEP. So originally it was started up as we would randomly give those to people that subscribe to the blog. I would just randomly pick somebody and they would get it that way.
Okay.
And to get the numbers up, I wanted to really get the numbers up. And then I don't know if it was season 5, it was probably sometime in season 5, we just switched and was like, why don't we have the guest that's on, we call them guest stars,
Sure.
give it out to their best friend, name them and why they're giving it. And what it's turned into is, people put it on their desk, people take it with them. And it's really the gift that we give the humans, is they're having their best friend. And it's on their desk, they see it, it's branded with the best friend branding on it, so that you either received it or it was gifted to you somehow. You can't just go out and buy them, even though some people have, and put their own little red hoodie on.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
It's all about that fun part of it, and he's our official mascot.
Yes, I love that.
He's a star.
He's a great mascot.
He's the star.
He's the star of this.
Everybody
show.
wants Sammy Bear.
Exactly. So you talk about season 4, and you've been doing this really since 2018. So pre-pandemic, right? It's been going on a while, and this is every Friday. Do you ever run out of content or people to interview?
The stroke of luck, no.
No.
The content sometimes, literally, it's not scripted.
Uh-huh.
Like what you just saw with Brian, that was not rehearsed. It's not scripted. People will ask me, "What are you going to ask me?" I'm like, it's pretty much simple questions. It's
Yeah.
basically, tell me why you have a best friend at work or whatever. And it's literally the time I hit record, the guest doesn't know what I'm going to ask. It's going to be along the same about best friends. And at the end, who do you want to name a Sammy Bear to? It's sometimes it's what the guest says. So I may have a theme or something I want to cover, certain things like this past Friday that we just did. I wanted to do something about heat. So we always do a heat episode where, you got to hydrate and things like that. So somebody was spraying me down with the hose. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, I want to go in that direction,
Uh-huh.
but we don't know what the guest is going to say. So they may say something that I'm going to ask them an additional question on. So, sometimes it's getting the people and, people want to have to be participant and they want to have fun doing it
Yeah.
as well. So we give everybody the option to nominate people, and I'll reach out to everyone that's nominated to be on. We don't force it. We don't force it. And people are usually willing to just jump on if it's in their belly. With I know some people are like me. I'm camera shy.
You can't
I am a little bit. But some people just don't like that stuff. So I'm not going to force. I'm not going to push that. Obviously.
Have you ever missed a Friday or might you have?
Nope, it's been every Friday. There's been a couple that it'll be a Sam, I'll do this quote, Sam's day off, and we may have replayed something else.
Okay.
But it's been every Friday for the last, at least since season 3, 4, 5, 6, we're on season 7. And I have no plan. I have no exit strategy. We'll say that as long as people are enjoying them, both at AEP and outside of AEP, I kind of think we'll see how far it goes. Obviously,
Fantastic.
but right now it's fun. It's enjoyable. People like them, and we're gonna keep spreading the message.
Definitely. I like watching them on Friday. They are fun and they're enjoyable. It's a good way to kick off your Friday.
That's what people tell me. Some have a ritual. Someone was like, "Hey, I don't watch it on Friday. I watch it on my Monday when it's the first day." So it's been quite entertaining how people utilize that. They use it in culture.
Yeah.
And my leadership team and the executives, I mean, they've been on them as well. So a lot of people have gotten behind them, and I've gotten a lot of support from the company in doing it. And then outside people, I mean, RF, and other companies outside, I've had outside guests on. They've just been fantastic. They want to be part of it.
Yeah, that's great. So you're obviously very passionate about this topic, having best friend at work. Can you tell me a little bit about that passion or where it stemmed from or why this is so important to you?
I never used to be like this.
Okay.
This culture fluffy stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's something I really didn't get behind. And at first, like I said, it was really to appease my boss. But I think I kind of say that maybe I had an awakening or something, that it's literally about the people. And you can't do anything in this world without people. And if you think about even in your jobs, your simple things is, I need to call someone in another department. That is their job to help them do something. Like today, to put this on, right? You had other people that had to come to help you to do that. Yes, it's in their job, but wouldn't it be a little bit better to work with someone that enjoyed it with you, that you can laugh about it, not stressed out?
Yeah.
We all have those people at work that you're like, I don't want to call this person and do that. So no matter what challenges a company is going through, or even outside of work as well, you have those people that you connect with and want to connect. And literally, I've said it, and people think I'm nuts. Best friends can change the world. I mean, yes, putting people together, we can do such great things. And I look at the mission that RF does, and a utility, and what NERC does, and FERC does. If you think about it, we all have the same goal, right? We're all trying to keep the lights on.
Right.
But we all have different roles to play in that equation. So wouldn't it be better to like the person in RF versus every time RF calls, you're like, oh my God, Brian's calling me again. Not that he does that, but I enjoy that. Do I respect that RF has a job to do? Absolutely. Do you respect that AEP and the entities utilities have a job to do? Absolutely. But it's a lot better and it's a lot easier to get that goal together if you're with someone that you actually like spending time with.
Yeah.
So that's where it's kind of the passion is. People is what's going to drive this and get anything we want accomplished.
Yes, for sure. And you've taken probably a mundane question of the Gallup poll and made it fun, and people can now relate to it maybe a little bit better than before, like you mentioned, where people weren't sure what that even meant to
Right.
have a best friend at work.
Right.
So you're really highlighting that for them. So in your book here, I have your book, Do You Have a Best Friend at Work? You talk about a little bit about an acronym SLAP. Can you explain what SLAP
That's
is?
literally slapping me. No, so SLAP is it stands for serve, love, action, and passion. So the SLAP. I'm an acronym junkie, by the way. So
I
anything
noticed that in your
yeah,
book.
anything I'm gonna find out, I try to throw an acronym behind it and make it a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
That one I will not take credit for. I served on a nonprofit board. And we came up as part of, throwing stuff, and it was a leadership organization at the time. And it was about, okay, and someone just came, hey, we need to slap the leadership in you. And I'm like, that's awesome. What does it stand for? And it was literally our goals. We serve, love, action, and passion. So it stuck with me during that. It never made any marketing materials because we couldn't go around and go, hey, we want to slap your leaders. But I wrote it down on a little post-it note, and it literally has been in my folio that I carry around in my bag and have it for years and years. And when I was writing the book, I'm like, what are the things that I live by? And one is it slap, and that's it. I mean, I'm servant leader first, people first. Um, and when Nikki said too about putting your mask on first and taking care of yourself, she's absolutely point on. You can't help anybody unless you're taking care of yourself as well. So the serve part is, yes, you want to serve others, but you also have to serve yourself first before you can take care of it. Love is that LOVE that you don't say in corporate America. And I will tell you, you need to lead with love, plain and simple. Now, there's different types of love. The love that you have with a spouse or a partner or things along those lines, different than the people at work. That'll get you in the HR and legal department, which you don't want to be in there, right? If Nikki's still on, yeah, you don't want to get in front of Nikki on that.
Right.
But literally lead with love, serve with love. And the more and more we do that as leaders and just as humans, I mean, if we all had best friends in the world, this world would be a better place.
Yeah.
And nothing gets done without action. Plain and simple.
Right.
You guys want to do RF Tech Talk? It's not happening unless somebody took action and did that. Same thing with, Best Friend Friday. We wanted to do something. I wanted to do this, so I wanted to get that message out. And the last thing is passion. There's things in our job that we know we hate to do.
Right.
We all do it, right? And we probably do that the worst, but something that you're passionate about, like I'm passionate about this topic, so it probably is coming through. But there are things that you can just probably tell me like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. And you're like, So
Sure.
when you have those things aligned in your life, I think that anything is possible. So I try to live by that in everything I do. And it was just something that just stuck with me. And that's how I didn't come up with that slap, but that's how I try to live by those leadership principles.
I love that. That's a great acronym. And it's, it is easier to remember SLAP.
And you always want to slap somebody, right?
Right.
I mean,
Why not do it in a good way?
in a good way, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so going back to your LinkedIn videos, I know a lot of people out there watch them. I don't even know how many followers you're up to right now, but I'm sure quite a few. But do you have any thoughts on how your videos might be helpful in recruiting top talent for AEP? If they see something like that, do you think that maybe it helps with explaining the culture at AEP?
I never thought of it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, well, maybe if you're going for a physical security job, they're going to go, this is my director of physical security. No, I think you're right. I mean, it shows that one, the company is passionate about culture. We talk about it, culture, having a strong culture. It's somewhere you want to work for. And here's this guy at a director level in physical security. I mean, a lot of people will say it, even in the industry will say, you're the physical security guy. You're supposed to be the enforcer, the tough, the rough guy.
Right.
I get more things done with that bear than I can do by saying it. Now, is it in the policies and the procedures? Absolutely. You have to lock a door. You have to use your access bearer badge and all those things like that. But if Sam, the best friend at work guy, is asking you to do that, it's because he's doing it out of love, because he cares. There's a reason behind it.
Yeah.
So I never thought of it that way, but Sure, we'll go with it.
Okay. I think
It probably does if they find me. I know they're when people do are looking for physical jobs. I know they connect with me on there, and they probably are now start seeing that. So they at least understand the type of boss they're going to get. But I think if they watch all the videos, they're going to see some of our leadership and
exactly.
vice presidents and senior vice presidents who've been on multiple times in some cases. Okay, wow, they're serious about this culture.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing. It's not just you, it's all the other people too. You get
Absolutely.
having fun and talking about having a best friend
Yep.
that works. So yes, that's fantastic. Um, so the next question, have your videos help with the Gallup culture survey score, or any thoughts on that? If your videos have been able to move the needle a bit on that question.
I'm going to say yes because our chief HR officer, Phil Ulrich, best friend of mine. He does the Thanksgiving edition he has for the last 3 years. So I always ask him about that Gallup survey when we did it, and it's gone up year and year. I can tell you it's done in the security culture. As we started it we saw an increase, but in the end, it's not about that score. And any survey you do, Gallup, there's tons of them out there. That one just has that question. In the end, it boils down to, I mean, Gallup has that Q12 and those 12 questions. It boils down to that one thing. If we don't get that right, none of this stuff else matters in any culture thing you're going to do. We're going to roll out this survey, we're going to do this, and we're going to put that. Literally, if you don't have the people at work that like each other working, you might as well just stop. And when I figure that piece out and say, okay, all the other stuff is good. If you read the Q12, which is out there,
Mhm.
they have different questions. Do you have what you need at work? Or, has your boss talked to you, give you recognition? Those are all standard questions that a lot of surveys do. Yes, that best friend one is an odd one, and I will be the first to say it, but truly, if you don't get that right, you're not going to get anything else right.
Right. Yes, that's a good point. So you talked a little bit about other organizations that have participated in Best Friend Friday. Was it difficult to convince people outside of AEP to participate in something like this if they've never heard of the Gallup poll or understood what this question was? Have you had any challenges with that?
No, really, most people that I've had on have seen it. So they followed me on LinkedIn. So that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to keep it internal at AEP. So it was kind of like season 1 and season 2, never a couple of the episodes that you probably can find out there, the hidden season 1 episodes. A couple of them made it to LinkedIn. But a couple of things. One, I never really asked our corporate communication department for permission. Okay.
You just did it.
I took that action. Now it was luckily love those people and they embraced it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I didn't really do it. And it was really for security. On season 3, kind of said I'm pointing them on LinkedIn. Again, didn't really ask permission, but I knew the culture of the department. I'm not doing anything really bad. Plus, they were all at home, and I was the only one in a 31-story building with a mask on.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can run around all these floors, record people virtually, and they were horrible season 3. They were just because I didn't have the technology at the time. But we just put them out there so people saw them, and then when I reached out to them, or some have reached out to me and said, "Hey, would you feature anybody?" It was kind of weird. Some will have to say, "Well, I'll have to check with my legal department. It can be in there," because they are representing their company, and I totally get it. Others like, "Yes, I'll be on." So we'd like to sprinkle in some outside guests. I'm hoping to sprinkle in an RF next Friday for somebody that I'm going to ask to do. I won't say who, but it's good that if you look at LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a great tool to utilize because those people have networks and they're not just my network. So as they get named, they're sharing them and spreading it more than AEP. Hope that it would take off and continue to do.
Yeah, LinkedIn is a great platform for that, for sure. And so before we get to our Slido questions, I just want to mention you have some more swag here with you today. You have this Best Friend Friday hat and the water bottle, and then these bracelets. Tell me a little bit about these bracelets. You hand them out to all of your guests.
No, actually, the bracelets are the official bracelets of the book. So I got some. I didn't realize this till I came to Cleveland because my best friend Brian says that apparently it's Michigan State colors.
That's right.
I'm not originally from Ohio.
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yes.
It's Michigan. I know you guys are from Ohio. I'm not really into college football. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so that adds to my weariness. But anyways, yellow and blue, it makes green. And I always have stuff with my audience, not my audience. I always have stuff with my internal auditors
Uh-huh.
to get a green audit. So when I get a yellow one, don't want to get a red. I always used to tell them throw some blue in that yellow. So it's kind of a hidden message for them. They probably don't know that. They know it now if they're watching. But so yellow and blue makes green.
Perfect.
That's the colors.
I
But
see.
basically, I just got those, and it's just like if I just give them out to best friends. So somebody goes, "Why do you have a bracelet that says best friend?" Because I want to be a best friend.
There you go. I like that. It's definitely a conversation starter.
And the same thing with the water bottles and stuff. People will go, "What's Best Friday?" And what a lot of people don't know is that is the American Sign Language symbol for friend.
Okay.
Is that. So pick that, saw that, wanted that. So, but it gets people to ask the question. I could put Best Friend
Right.
Friday on it. People are not going to, what's that? I want people to go, what's that mean?
Right.
And I'm like, it's Best Friend Friday. What's that?
Makes
And then
sense.
you could have that conversation.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll move over to our Slido questions. So people from the audience want to ask you a question as well. So let's see. What do you have to do to be a best friend? Asking for a friend. So what should you do to be a good best friend?
Basically, just connect.
Yeah.
It's not going to be instant. So, example, the easiest place to have them is at work. Why? Because you all work for the same company. So you already have a common interest in place. So when you're getting on, that elevator and there's a new person in the elevator, hi, I'm Michelle.
Right.
Where are you? I've never met you. Oh, I'm Brian. Okay, where do you work? Especially in bigger companies,
Yeah.
that's the start of that piece. It's just making that connection. Now I said elevators. Now it's hard in the virtual environment and the hybrid and thing. It's literally just setting up that first introduction if you want to do that. And I know it's hard for certain people to do that, but somebody has to take the A in action and make action. If you want to have best friends, do that. A lot of companies has employee resources groups. Our industry has the Women's International Network Professionals went up that they take men because I'm a part of it as well. But there are organizations you can just plug yourself into, instant best friends. You're gonna build those relationships.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great tip. Who would be your dream best friend Friday guest?
Simon Sinek.
Okay, I've read his book as well. Yeah.
He's a hero of mine. He's the one that champions the why.
Yes.
And which I live by and do that. I was hoping you guys would get him on. He's going to surprise me, but guess it wasn't in the budget. But no, he just all his books, all his books that he's written. I've a lot of that stuff is how I formed as a leader and figured out my why in life.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's someone that I think within RF here, we try to always refer back to find the why in a lot of what you do, and it helps you be passionate about what you are doing and understanding the importance of it. So that you gave a shout out to Simon Sinek. Who has inspired you on your journey, and who are your best friends at work?
I have a lot of best friends at work. So my former boss, Dan Barlow, he's retired now, but I talk about him a lot in the book. He's my Yoda. He's my person in life. He was former chief security officer. It's just the way he leads and the way he acts like Yoda. I mean, he's a Jedi master, so he's inspired me to be a better leader. The reason for the inspiration of Best Friend Friday came from Scott McGowan from McGowan Braybender. It's a company up in Ohio. It's a health insurance company. He does these things on LinkedIn called Thankful Thursday. That's kind of how I got the idea of posting him on LinkedIn. And he was at the time CEO of that company. And every Thursday he would go out and thank his employees, thank people outside the company, and record a 1-minute video. So that was inspiring to me that a CEO would do this every Thursday. And I'm sitting here going, so I can't do it if he's doing it.
Right.
What's stopping me? I have a camera, I have a LinkedIn account, I know how to press record.
Right.
If he can do it, why can I do that? So that was an inspiration.
Yes, that's fantastic. So before we close out, any other final thoughts you want to share with the audience?
It may sound weird and geeky, but I mean when I do say that we best friends can change the world, and I think it truly is, and especially at if we had best friends at work and we all came together and use those principles, how you act with your best friend, I think the world would be a better place. So the more and more we reach out and have that compassion and passion for others and, be more tolerant, things along those lines. Nikki, great examples of how she was talking to her bosses. And, again, that goes back to the boss could have said no, but yeah, take it. So again, that goes back to having the ability to, even if it is your boss, yes, there's a line that you have to have, especially in the employee worker relationship, but having that compassion, leading with love and going, okay, I understand. In the end, yes, we all have a job to do, but you know, it's a best friend at work and do that. And I look at my employees and people up that, I treat them like best friends. If you needed anything, call me up and yeah, I can do that within my control. I think it would just be a better place to do that. And I think the last thing I would say is if there's something you want to do it. I mean, it goes back to I'm a huge Star Wars fan again, is what Yoda says. It's do or do not. There is no try. Just do it. You may fail. And that's why I give you guys props on your tech talks. So what if it messes up, and I think this is our first in studio one.
It is.
You nailed it. I think we nailed it, right?
I think so.
Right. So, but you probably were paranoid and scared and feared. You could have literally said, we don't want you in Cleveland. We've never done it before, but you did it.
Yeah, we
And so what? So we may have, it may get disconnected or something like that. We're towards the end. So you're good. We're covered at this point, but you did it. And I applaud you for all the people behind the cameras that are staring at us right now. You did it. So that's something you can do. And I would just say, take that. They're throwing bracelets at us. It's Brian throwing bracelets at us. Just do it. And failure is how we learn from that, and do it with your best friends, because it's a lot of fun that way. If it succeeds, great. If it fails, we fail together. We go out and figure out how we do it better the next time.
There you go. Exactly. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Sam. It was great seeing you here in person.